Hi guys, well done for all of you completed your mini assessment. There was lots of really good grades and lots of good results. I just wanted to share with you the grade boundaries from last year. So this is from 2019 and you can also see the grade boundaries from 2018. So if you completed your assessment, you'll have been emailed some feedback. You should have a percentage. So you can convert that to a grade. The reason we include the grade boundaries side by side is so you can see how much it increased from 2018 to 2019. It didn't really increase very much, and so we'd expect when you guys take the exams in 2021 that the grade boundaries hopefully will only increase a little bit as well. So it just gives you an idea about what you need to achieve in order to get the grade that you want to get. The first question on the assessment was a question involving using grid references. I understand that this was a little bit tricky because the map wasn't particularly clear. However, you shouldn't really need to be able to see it in that much detail to be able to answer it. The question says, which grid square shows part of the rural-urban fringe of Dundee? So it really means that you need to understand what that term rural-urban fringe means. If you don't understand that, you can't answer it. Rural-urban fringe means the edge of a city. Now, if you've done a bit of OS map work, you'll know that all the stuff around here, this is showing all urban areas. You've got these pink lines, which are roads, these yellow lines are roads. All of the stuff inside of that shows buildings. You've got another big green road here. And as you get to the edge of the city, you can start to see these brownish, orangey lines. They're contours. And they tend to show us that we've got open areas of fields. Also, you've got areas here where you've got green boxes with little trees inside them showing woodlands. So we can certainly see a change here where you've got a very urban area towards the south of the map. And then as you go up to the further to the north point, you see that actually you're getting towards an area where the city starts to change into a rural area. So with a question like this, all you need to do is work through the grid references and look at them each one at a time and work out if it can possibly be each one. So A is 3630. So you find 36, you then find 30, and it takes you to this point here. You always go to the grid square to the top right of the point where it crosses over. And you can see here in this grid square, it's very urban. I can see all these buildings within it. So the next one is 3833. So 38, always do the bottom first, and then up to 33. And again, it's a very urban square. Next one is 3930. So 3930. Again, it's very urban. So it can't be any of these because they're not on the fringe. We need to see some rural area within it. 3934. 3934 is this grid square here. And you can see we've got some urban area, but then we also start to see countryside here. So this is where the urban area meets the rural area. It's the rural urban fringe, and therefore it has to be that one. So even if you couldn't see the map very well, you should still have been able to answer that question. Next question was talking about urban sprawl. Discuss the effects of urban sprawl on people and the environment. Now, this is one of the things that students always mess up on. It says use figure 3 and a case study of a major city in the UK. You need to have done both of those things. So you need to make sure you are really explicitly referencing figure 3 and also mentioning Sheffield, which is our case study for this one. The question also says discuss the effects of urban sprawl on people and the environment. So this idea of urban areas spreading outwards, how is that going to affect people and also the environment? So some of the things that you might have talked about, increase in roads might increase in noise level, lead to disturbance of wildlife, and you could use the map to suggest areas where there were lots of roads. Increase in traffic could cause an increase in pollution, which is going to lead to global warming, or you can think about the effect on people, so respiratory illnesses. Increase in traffic might be longer time to get places or move goods around, which is an inconvenience. So you just need to make sure that you are referring to either Sheffield within that. So you might mention an example of urban sprawl within the city, so Sheffield spreading out into the countryside around it. And also you need to make sure you mention that figure, as well as being clear about people and the environment. Quite a lot of students only talked about the environment and they didn't reference it to how it affects people as well, and that'll restrict you to 2 or 3 marks. The next question was looking at a sustainable urban living model in Leeds. And this question is fairly straightforward. It gives you a list of kind of all the things about this development that are sustainable. And that directly links into the next question, where it very simply says, use figure 4 and your own knowledge, discuss how the features of the greenhouse development will make for a more sustainable urban living. So when we talk about sustainability, it can be environmental, it can be economic, it can be social. You need to use figure 4 and your own knowledge. So that means you're kind of expanding on your points. And here really what I would tend to do is just pick 2 from the list that you're confident in and really expand upon them. So renewable energy generation will mean that they contribute less to fossil fuel usage, meaning there's a reduction in air pollution. So you're expanding upon those points. So if you're going into quite a lot of detail about those, you can expand on 2, possibly 3. But you can see here it could be any of these. So recycling facilities might be reducing the amount of waste. Medical care centre and a nursery, maybe that means that people who are working there and have got young children can still work there because they don't have to pay for childcare, or the childcare is local to them, and that means you're going to get different types of people being able to work there as such. A sports centre with a swimming pool, it could be that's about people's health and fitness, so making sure you've got a healthy workforce. Again, that's part of that social aspect. Allotments where people can grow fruit and vegetables. Again, that's kind of a social, environmental and an economic sustainable aspect. So just expand on each of those, pick a couple and expand upon those. It's really straightforward to answer it. Next question was a maths question. So it's got a map showing the life expectancy for some different areas in Birmingham. And it says calculate the range in life expectancy. So the range is the difference between the highest amount and the lowest amount. So it requires you just to have a look at the map and pick out what those are. So I thought the highest was 85 and the lowest was 76. And so you're just working out the difference between those 2 numbers, and that should be 9. And then finally, the last 2 questions. So 1.7 was using figure 4 and your own understanding suggest why there are inequalities in health in urban areas. Lots of good answers here, but just make sure you really expand your point fully. It could be any of the following things. So lack of access to a healthy diet. Quite often in certain parts of urban areas, you might only have access to certain types of takeaways or certain types of shops that don't sell fresh food and fresh produce. So it kind of restricts how healthy you can be. If you don't have a car and you can't drive further, you can only use your shops that are local. It might be about a lack of education in certain areas regarding personal health. A lot of things might be about a lack of money. So if you have areas where there's higher levels of poverty, it might be you have a lack of money to be able to buy basic provisions. Or it could be about the quality of housing that you have access to. Lots of people talked about maybe access to medical facilities, which is another good answer as well. And then the final question, outline one way that international migration has led to a change in the character of a named UK city. I highlighted on this question, it says one way. So if you talk about multiple ways, then you're not going to get marks for that. So you just need to talk about one way and expand on that. I put there, multiculturalism has led to an increase in diversity of shops and food outlets on London Road in Sheffield. So it does say it wants a named UK city. So make sure you name that as well. So hopefully you've had a chance to be able to annotate your work a little bit, and hope this kind of helps you understand where you could have picked up some more marks. If you haven't had a chance to have a go at the assessment yet, I'd encourage you to do that now, and then you can send that over to me and I'll mark that and return it to you.